Hello everyone. South Africa and the world would have never known about President Cyril Ramaphosa's alleged illicit financial mess if the millions of US dollars had not been stolen from his PhalaPhala farm. The Section 89 independent panel, chaired by retired Chief Justice Sandile Ngcobo, cautioned that Ramaphosa was not being truthful by declaring that only $580,000, estimated $9.5 million, was stolen. The information obtained during a probe by independent media's investigation team that Falcons showed at least $4 million was stolen at PhalaPhala. Also, information from sources with the intimate knowledge of the entire saga revealed that more than $100 million was hidden. According to IOL News, their probe found that about $140 million, roughly about 2 billion rands, according to 2020 exchange rates, was allegedly moved through Waterkloof Air Force Base to PhalaPhala, where it was kept for more than a month before the theft in February 2020. The panel's report cited an investigator in an audio clip who put it to a suspect they knew that the suspects took about 20 million to Namibia, albeit without clarity on the currency. Although in the audio clip, it's not entirely clear what currency they were referring to when the amount of 20 million was mentioned. Whether the investigator was referring to US dollars or rands, this amount is far more than $580,000 that was alleged to have been hidden inside the sofa. If what the suspect and the investigator were saying is true about the money stolen, then there was more than $580 hidden in the sofa. The question is, where did this additional foreign currency come from? The report stated that in Arthur Fraser's affidavit, it stated that although there was no certainty about the precise amount stolen, the quantum was speculated to be about $4 million to $8 million. Ramaphosa has publicly downplayed it to have been far less. Ramaphosa had informed the panel that the stolen money was the proceeds of a sale to a Sudanese national he identified as Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Ibrahim Hazim. He said Hazim came to the farm to view buffaloes that were for sale and paid $580 in cash to Mr. Ndlovu for the purchase of a number of buffaloes. However, Fraser in his affidavit alleged that Ramaphosa's closest advisor, Pejani Chauke, was instrumental in illegal bringing into the country large sums of US dollars from countries such as Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt, Morocco, and Equatorial Guinea. Sources with the intimate knowledge of the matter informed the IOL that during Ramaphosa's state visit to Saudi Arabia in July 2018, that country made a $20 million donation to the ANC, which they referred to as Mandela's Party. Later, another $20 million was donated to the party, bringing $40 million, the total amount donated by Saudi Arabia. The donations were allegedly on condition that the South African government did not give any form of support to Qatar. Relations between Saudi Arabia and Qatar had historically been turbulent due to disagreements over the rightful ownership of several territories. The sources said the Saudis allegedly also expected an exclusive Saudi-South African oil deal through an oil refinery to be built in Richards Bay and backed by the state-owned Saudi Aramco. Ramaphosa allegedly received a $10 million donation from Qatar via French-born Philippe Solomons, who lives in Doha. Solomons, who has links with the U.S. intelligence agencies, flew from the United Arab Emirates to Qatar to collect the money, and then to South Africa, where he touched down at Fireblade Private Terminal at OR Tambo. Ramaphosa's trusted man Chauke, who interestingly has a diplomatic passport, was there to collect the bag of cash. In total, Ramaphosa allegedly received $50 million in the form of donations for the ANC. Ramaphosa, according to a source close to him, allegedly received $40 million during his one-day trip to Egypt several weeks ago. The Falcons are still trying to verify the information about the money from Egypt. The president allegedly also received an estimated $10 million from Equatorial Guinea's Teodorin Guillaume Obiang Mangu, who in return expected Ramaphosa to facilitate the return of his assets confiscated in France and also to convince the courts in South Africa to to rule in his favor. According to the information gathered from sources, he further received undisclosed amounts of money from the DRC and Ghana. After the PhalaPhala scandal broke, Ramaphosa allegedly roped in two businessmen to help him launder the money through dubious property deals, who the Falcons will only identify as Zahir and Carl. Sources who couldn't be named to IOL said about $20 million was moved to Zahir and $10 million was moved to Carl. The Section 89 panel found that other than Hazim's and Ndlovu's names, no further particulars of the two were provided, such as passport or identity document numbers. Mr. Hazim is said to be Sudanese businessman, yet no particulars are given to his business or the business he is involved in, the address where he conducts business from, or any particulars that will enable anyone wishing to identify him or establish his whereabouts. Yesterday, social media posts alleged that former Minister Jeff Hadebe had links with Hazim, but Hadebe denied the claims. Jeff Hadebe said, "It has been brought to my attention that there is a story doing rounds on social media that puts up my name in a story about Mustafa Mohammed Ibrahim Hazim. I want to categorically put on record that I don't know this man, have never met him in my life, and have never spoken with him. I reserve my legal rights to sue for defamation anyone who wants to associate me with this man." Well, if these allegations are true, our president Cyril Ramaphosa has been busy, has been busy promising deals. What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.